Hey all, it's Nim, or Nimicry if you're feeling professional, and welcome to the YouTube video. Now today, we are going over Wowhead Economy Weekly Wrap-Up 124, Shadowlands Release, Planning and Creative Gold Making. Now, I want to draw a couple attention things before we get started. I stream on Twitch, Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have a shiny new gold vest with a bow tie, and today, I broke 10,000 on Twitch. 10,000 followers. It's amazing. It makes me feel like I might be good at this content creation thing, so we're going to do a little experiment this time. I'm not going to cut out the breaths. Tell me in the comments below if that bothers you. Because if it does, we'll go back to it. But I've had people tell me, damn, it doesn't matter. Why are you worried so much? Don't worry about it. This is what you do. You're animated. Anyways, let's get to it. All right. So we're going to start with the Shadowlands release date. With the recent news of Shadowlands release date in Q4 2020, that gives us gold makers some more precise time guesses as to how long we have to buy the Brutosaur mount. Okay, let's just close that real quick. Before it heads to the black market auction house. And we really want to get it before the black market auction house, because when it goes to the black market auction house, it's going to be max gold. And it's going to be bidded on heavily. Look at me. Heavily. From the news, if we look at October 1st being the earliest possible date, if you started with 0 gold today, you would need to accumulate 34,246 gold per day. Now, that number has adjusted slightly. It's gone a little bit up since the publish of this yesterday. So I don't know exactly how much. Now, hopefully, many of you will be further along your journey, so the goals will be different per person. There's an updated Google spreadsheet to account for the new dates if you'd like a copy. And, of course, I will put a link to this article in the video description. So let's move on. Of course, if Shadowlands releases further into Q4, then you'll have more time. It could be as much as 3 extra months. If you'd like to get some tips on how to get the goals you need, Student Albatross has a great guide on what he would do if he were to try to farm the necessary gold. There's a YouTube video there. And then, of course, Kraken Latte also has some great tips on your gold-making journey, which, again, guys, check those out. Do those things. Now, here's where it's important. Stop complaining and get creative. So we all know the people in our guild. Oh, I can't be bothered. Oh, I didn't get the mats. Hey, can you front me Flask? Yeah, I'll get you back. You're like, okay. And then you have the people who are a little more hardcore who are like, look, they farm, they're ready, they're go, they got the food, Flask, rune, other miscellaneous buffs, they're there. So here we go. User Wazer has come up with some great advice on what to do if you find yourself stuck in a rut, not sure how to make gold. Which, hey, listen, sometimes we're stuck in ruts. Sometimes we don't know what to do. So over the last couple days and weeks, I've grown tired of all the posts from people complaining about multi-boxers and markets crashing. Boy, if you listen to the WoW forums, the sky has never stopped falling. As part of the shutdown or simply end of expansion drought, we're nearing. So here are some thoughts and ideas, tips and tricks for phrases that I've read over and over that might help you with your gold making. I will not go into excessive details, or at least try not to. Now, brevity is not a skill of mine, as you probably know if you've watched the streams or the YouTube or anything like that. So let's get started. Number 1. Ooh, there we go. I can't make gold. I just can't. I can't. How do you have it? Give it to me. Well, you won't with that mindset. You can always make gold. And make, I take literally. Raw gold is basically creating gold via your playtime, albeit world quests, old raids, dungeons, and the amount, at least for repeatable content like world quests and dungeon farming, all depend on your setup. Speed characters are obviously better than slow DKs. That's right. Do that mastery build with your Demon Hunter and sprint through things. Before you log on to your main, go do Skyreach 10 times. 10 times Bastion of Twilight. 10 times Freehold, trash only around the first boss. And Freehold takes about 15 minutes, and that's him 4 to 5k in vendor value. So that breaks down to 2.5k plus raw selling, all BOEs, plus 70 satin, plus 950 linen with synchronous thread. Do it once per day, and you make 28 to 35k raw gold per week. There's your free AHUS token per month. Do it twice per day, and there's your free AHEU token. Same goes for Skyreach, Iron Docks, etc., etc. Be consistent. So basically, listen, you say you can't make gold? All right, well, guess what? Normal mode dungeons in Warlords of Draenor will award you a lot of gold, and they're fairly easy to clear, especially at 110 or 120 with decent gear. You got it. Nothing sells. Man, I went to the AH, I posted some things. What happened? Nothing sold, nothing sold, nothing sold. And I'm just losing money, and I'm losing money on fees, and I'm getting farther and farther away. calm down. Take a deep breath. Center yourself. Maybe rub your ears. Goosefraba. When nothing sells, either enter in undercutting wars, manipulate your competition out of the market, or, what I consider best, leave the market and enter new ones with higher entry levels or less competition. Or work around the AH completely via trade chat. Become a supplier for a crafter. It's better to have cheaper and safe sales than no sales at all. If you struggle with BFA competition, look for older markets, since this problem is most talked about for full pop servers. Use the full pop to your advantage. Almost everything sells on a full pop, sooner or later. You don't want to compete with AH no-lifers, bot-like behavior? Diversify! Grab different elementals, primals, volatiles, old herbs and ore, leather, but get it up on the AH. You're missing out on an incredible amount of sales, but the GPH is bad. It's even worse if you don't sell anything. Exactly. Listen, I can't know what you can do unless you show up in my raid group. I can't know what you can do unless you show up in my dungeon group. You can't make any gold on the AH unless you get something on the AH. And again, with the full pop, most things sell. From cheap greens to copper to everything, most things will be sold, and even if you undercut yourself a little bit to get that fast, quick, safe sale, boom. And honestly, maybe work something out with some of the crafters in your guild. Be like, hey, listen, we'll craft. You throw me some gold, we'll get a decent thing. It's a good idea. Markets crashed. We have the end of the expansion, and the last patch is already there for a while, plus a shutdown with many people at home. It's absolutely no surprise low entry markets like herbalism crashed and will probably continue to crash into the ground. I always wonder why people want to compete in such a low entry market and complain about low prices. Like real life, more valuable items require higher entry level, or they lose their value. Why do you even want to compete in farming markets other than skinning, since only one character can actually skin? If you enjoy it, great. But if you do it for your enjoyment and don't complain about the GPH and market and MB competition, what markets retain their value over the end of next pack? What might even rise in value? Ask yourself that question. Use TUJ for an example to compare price behavior for the last 2 X-Pack. But I need gold fast. Have you done your daily, weekly, raw gold routine yet? Exactly. That's the thing. You need gold fast. Get in there. Grind out the gold. Do the dungeons. Keep resetting them. But, Nim, I can only do 5 dungeons per hour. Well, then you're a very fast character if you can do 1 dungeon 5 times in less than an hour. And that's good. You're doing a speedrunning character. So then switch over to something. Do world quests for a little while. And then come back. And here's the thing. By the time that you're done with doing the world quests, it'll be reset and you get more dungeon allowances in the system. Markets crash. The idea about barrier to entry is anybody can pick up herbalism and urban BFA. All you have to do is go to the trainer, pick up herbalism, click herb. That's literally the barrier to entry. Higher barriers to entry would be sometimes crafted mounts. Then, of course, also if you happen to be very skillful, you can sell your services as a carrier to things, and you can make a lot of gold doing that. Which brings us to our next point. Be creative. Oh, man, I've only got 1 character and I can't do that. Oh, man, I only got so little time to play. No, your argument's invalid. You got 1, probably 120 character, and up to 12, 110 class trials. Use them. Transmute anchor weed onto them and funnel to your alchemist. Park them at vendors. Check for rare NPCs and sell the phasing camp rares for yourself with them. 3 hours are a lot if you only log in, check, and log out. Meaning the idea is you set yourself up for the most efficient path forward. Essentially game theory. Every action you take, so you place your 1 piece here, and your 1 piece here, and your 1 piece here, and you all move towards a single goal, which is more gold. For whatever reason, whether it be the spider, whether it be the Brutosaur, whether it be something else. But that's what you do. It's a concerted effort that's directed and thought out. Learn patience. Oh boy, somebody tell the internet that. It's going to be bad. If you want quick gold, go buy a token. And in fact, Activision would prefer if you did that. Otherwise, learn some patience. Consistency is king. A lot of you started rushing into gold making once you learned that the Brutosaur will be removed from the vendor in Shadowlands. Why are you so focused on it? You had the end of Legion and all of BFA to get him and work towards him. If you did not want it bad enough to work for it before, you might as well get 5 million, keep it as capital, and make a killing in SL. Then at 15 million, throw 10 million on the Black Market Auction House, or, finance a second account for years. As for competition, imagine you make a record label. You expect Warner Brothers and Sony to welcome you into the market? They will do their utmost to either buy or hinder you as much as they can. That is the competition you're facing with long-term pros at gold making. With money comes more money, but especially knowledge. To acquire more gold, you have to accumulate experience. This experience is not something you can learn in a day. It takes trial and error, success and consistency. You need to think for yourself if you want to maximize your economic potential. For example, with BFA prices sinking more and more people are going to farm old world stuff like volatiles. Don't jump on that bandwagon. Do it before them or after them, and buy or hold when the quantity explodes. What are they going to need, though? Potions of treasure finding. And take a guess, who should be the one supplying them? You! And again, that makes sense. Patience is important. You have to stick to it, keep going, keep working at it, and believe it or not, you will build up gold. I used to run old raids on Nim, and I would end up, and I wasn't hardcore gold farming. I'd run a couple old raids trying to get mounts, and I'd sell everything I get, and I'd be like, wow, okay, over the course of a couple of weeks, I'm like, hey, I got, extra 70, 80,000 gold. Okay, nice. And of course, any questions in the comments? Have a nice day. Happy gold making. Now let's go down to the Freehold Runs. So we'll talk about this as a little kind of an addendum. So I was just gonna post this on Freehold with tailoring tools of the trade, but I pulled a whole instant 3 pulls. As a 460 Guardian Druid, it takes me about 7 minutes, and I get, say, 450G, 8 greens, 4 weapon vendor for 60G, 4 armor vendor for 31G, and about 40 cloth. 1 to 2 deep sea satin. It's decent. Even if you shuffle the Tide Spray Linen into Tide Spray Linen pants and vendor them, that puts the minimum value of Tide Spray Linen at around 2G per unit at the rest of expansion, unless Blizz goes and nerfs vendor rates or drop rates or something. So call it 550 to 600 gold in Tide Spray Linen plus deep sea bag per run. These will continue to sell and sell and sell and sell like hotcakes, which is ironic because the hotcakes really aren't moving. Oh, and bonus, since I did run a ton of mythics to get my bear to 460, which isn't even that high for a tank, it's okay, I guess. I have a ton of Hydrocore, and I'm close to Revere with Tortolan, so once I get to rank 2 for 32 slot bags, I can run LFR Uldir and get rank 3 pattern, and I have enough Hydrocore in the bank to make like 65 32 slot bags. My last run on my Druid tank took about 7 minutes, 11 seconds, gives currency looted of 430 gold, 58 silver, looted item value of 1,177 gold and 8 silver, which seems about average. I can manage about 8 of these runs per hour, giving about 12,856 gold per hour. So, okay, that's some actual numbers right there, guys. Look at that. Think about that. That's just Freehold. Now, I'm not going to worry about the thoughts on Shadowland alchemy. If you're an alchemist, that's because you're a raider. That's the most profitable profession, at least in the sense of not having being a loss leader, because flasks last twice as long. So, guys, here's the thing that I'm going to tell you. As it comes to gold making, the one thing I would recommend is 2 screens, right? You've got your first screen with your game. You've got your second screen with, like, Netflix or YouTube or something, and just kind of zone out. Or maybe you're like me. Maybe you're like your favorite bartender, and you decide to maybe have an adult beverage or 2. Now, of course, I do want to mention, if you are underage, do not drink. That being said, guys, tell me what you think in the comments below. And, of course, the article will be posted in the channel description, or the video description. My name was Nim, or Nimicry if you're feeling professional, and this was kind of an experimental video. So tell me what you think in the comments below, and we'll be back with another video later. Keep gaming and enjoy life.